So the talk today is about something that has been shaking a lot of tables in Nigeria's legal and political space again. It's about Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, and what his lawyer Aloy Ejimakor is saying about the whole situation surrounding his trial and continued detention. My people, please stay with me till the end of this gist. And if you are watching this video right now, kindly like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can always get every update as it drops. Now, according to what's happening, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer came out to say something very strong. He said the persecution of Kanu and the way IPOB has been treated is not just about law and order, but about ethnic discrimination. He said what is happening violates the Nigerian constitution and even goes against the African Union and United Nations directives. That's a very heavy statement, and it's drawing a lot of attention again to the case of Nnamdi Kanu and the whole agitation for Biafra. Let's break it down in a simple way so everyone understands. Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. He has been in detention for a long time now after he was arrested and brought back to Nigeria. The group he leads has been fighting for what they call self-determination for the people of the Southeast, saying the region has been marginalized and ignored for too long. But the Nigerian government, on the other hand, sees IPOB as a security threat and even declared them a terrorist organization back in 2017. Since then, it's been a long back and forth between IPOB members, the federal government, and the courts. Now, Aloy Ejimakor, Kanu's lawyer, said this whole treatment, from the proscription of IPOB to Kanu's continuous detention, is based on ethnic bias. He said if this was another group from another region, maybe they wouldn't have been treated the same way. He backed this up by saying that under Section 42 of Nigeria's constitution, no one should be discriminated against because of their ethnicity, religion, or background. And he didn't stop there. He reminded everyone that the African Union's Human Rights Commission and even the United Nations had earlier spoken against what is happening, saying that the Nigerian government's action violates international human rights laws. While you're still watching, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that yet, because we are breaking this matter down in a way everybody can understand. Now, according to Ejimakor, this issue has been dragging for too long because the government is ignoring both local and international judgments. He mentioned that a high court in Enugu even ruled that the proscription of IPOB was unconstitutional and discriminatory. He said this means the government should have reversed that decision long ago. But the problem is nothing has changed. Instead, the tension in the Southeast keeps growing, people are scared, and the insecurity is getting worse. He believes that if the government had listened to those judgments, maybe the situation would be calmer today. Let's pause for a moment and think about it. If what Ejimakor is saying is true, that means we are dealing with something beyond politics. We are talking about fairness, equality, and justice. Many people in the Southeast have been saying for years that they are not treated equally in Nigeria, and this case seems to add more fuel to that fire. Even ordinary people who are not part of IPOB sometimes feel the heat with the heavy security presence, checkpoints, and restrictions. But to be fair, we must also understand that the government says it is doing all this for national security. They claim IPOB's activities were causing unrest, leading to attacks and violence in some areas, and that's why they had to take strong measures. However, what Ejimakor is pointing out is that those measures are now crossing the line, that it's becoming persecution, not prosecution. He said the law must apply equally to every citizen. No matter where they come from, if you are still here, thank you for watching. Please like this video now if you haven't, and subscribe so you can get more updates like this one. Now, this issue goes beyond Nnamdi Kanu alone. It touches on how Nigeria handles issues of identity and belonging. Because whether you agree with IPOB or not, there's a bigger conversation about how the Southeast feels disconnected from the rest of the country. Many young people from that region are frustrated because they feel like they don't have equal chances when it comes to leadership, development, and opportunities. That's why movements like IPOB easily gain followers, because people are looking for someone who will speak up for them. Ejimakor also said something deep.
He said that continuing to detain Kanu despite the court judgments is not just unlawful but dangerous. It can make people lose faith in the justice system. And when people lose faith in justice, what comes next is usually unrest. That's why he's warning that Nigeria should not ignore what the international bodies like the African Union and United Nations have already said about this matter. Now, while we talk about all this, I want you to ask yourself, what is the way forward? Is it possible for the government and IPOB to find a peaceful middle ground, or will the tension just continue until something snaps? Because honestly, this situation has gone on for too long. There have been calls for dialogue, for negotiation, and even for the release of Nnamdi Kanu as a way to reduce the tension.
But those calls are still hanging. Some political leaders from the Southeast have even visited the president several times asking for a political solution instead of a legal one. If you're still following, please click that like button. It helps the channel grow, and don't forget to subscribe because we'll continue to bring you real and balanced updates like this. Now, back to what Ejimakor said. He mentioned that ignoring those international directives is also damaging Nigeria's image abroad. Think about it. If the African Union and the United Nations have both said the same thing, and the government still acts like nothing happened, then people outside start to see Nigeria as a country that doesn't respect its own laws or human rights commitments. That's not a good image at all, especially for a country that wants to be a leader in Africa. At the same time, some people argue that IPOB itself has made things difficult by not clearly separating its peaceful members from those who may have turned violent. They say the group's actions sometimes have created fear in the Southeast, and that's what made the government respond harshly. But Ejimakor's point is that even if there were issues, you cannot punish a whole group or region based on that. The law must still be followed. It's also important to remember that this whole IPOB issue didn't just start today. It has roots that go all the way back to Nigeria's civil war between 1967 and 1970. Since then, the Southeast has always had that sense of being left behind. So when someone like Nnamdi Kanu came up using media to speak loudly about those issues,
many people listened. And when the government declared IPOB a terrorist group, it only made him and the movement more famous because people felt their voices were being silenced. Right now, we are at a stage where both sides need to think carefully. The lawyer is saying, release Nnamdi Kanu, obey the court rulings, and respect international laws. The government, on the other hand, says, security first, the court process must finish. And between these two positions, the common people in the Southeast are the ones suffering. Businesses have been affected, fear has increased, and a lot of innocent lives have been caught in between. If you are still with me, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep bringing you these kinds of important stories that many people don't tell in this level of detail.
So what should happen next? That's the big question. From the look of things, Ejimakor is preparing to push harder using legal and international means. He's not giving up. He's saying that as long as these human rights violations continue, he will keep speaking up. On the other side, some government officials say they are open to discussions, but only if IPOB stops all activities they consider unlawful. At this point, one thing is clear. Nigeria needs peace, and that peace must come from justice. If there is fairness, people will trust the system again. If the Southeast feels heard and respected, maybe this constant tension will finally reduce. But as long as people believe that one group is being singled out or treated unfairly, it will be hard to move forward. This whole case of Nnamdi Kanu has become a mirror of how Nigeria treats dissent, ethnicity, and the rule of law. And that's why people are watching closely, not just in Nigeria, but around the world. If you're still watching now, thank you for staying with me. Please, before you go, like this video right now and subscribe so you don't miss future updates. I want to ask you, do you think what Ejimakor is saying is true? Do you believe Nnamdi Kanu's case is about ethnic discrimination, or do you think it's purely a security matter? Drop your thoughts in the comment section because I really want to know what you think.